Hey guys, I am running a couple minutes late because, I don't know, my Wi-Fi would not connect for some reason. Sometimes it's like that, you know? You just plan everything and get everything ready and nothing happens. Today was another hot one here in Georgia. Hey Leah, it was 97 degrees and it's just been a very long day, so I'm sorry that I look like I do, but it is what it is at this point. Today is day 2 of our 5-part series, and this is the piece that we put some paint on yesterday. This piece is what we're going to do this week. I am going to show you what we are going to do a piece. Back to basics. Yesterday, I'm going to bring you up to date. I got all my stuff thrown in the floor over here. Yesterday, we cleaned our piece with Dixie Belle's White Lightning. Hey, Jana. Jana, I got to send you a private message about Thursday. I'm not going to be here till after lunch. We cleaned our piece with White Lightning. We got it all scrubbed up. We rinsed off the residue, and then we put paint on. So the first thing we're going to do today is I'm going to answer some questions that were left over from yesterday. First question is Mr. bottles. Mine is wandering around. Yes, I sell the Mr. bottles. They're $9.95 a piece. I sell them on my website. I know that you can get them on Amazon for about the same price, or they're $12 or something. Some of your local retailers are going to sell these. So look up your local Dixie Belle retailer, and they may have them as well. Another thing that came up is these are Chalk Pro brushes. CHALKPRO. I know y'all can't understand me with my accent, but these are Chalk Pro brushes. And I don't know what I did with my angled one. Oh, there it is. This is the Bomb Diggity. This is their short-handled 2-inch angled one. It is awesome. So, hey everybody. Oh, good. Good to know. Hobby Lobby, who is sometimes a friend and sometimes the bane of my existence, has Mr. Bottle. So there you go. All right. The other thing is, now we have put paint on here. Okay, tonight is not about putting paint on as such with a paintbrush. Tonight, since we have put our paint on, tomorrow night we're going to discuss distressing. Tonight, we are going to talk about what kind of paint. Oh, and the other thing, for some reason, my stupid thing wants to lose focus. I don't know what's going on with it. Everybody that asked about my apron comes from the dog rescue site, the animal rescue site, the Greater Good or whatever it is. I think it's about $20. I have probably 5 of them, but keep in mind, if you buy those, they feed homeless animals. You guys that know me know that I rescue mastiffs, so anything that feeds homeless animals, I'm in. Ashley, you got a piece today and you said the Boss will help with the smoke smell. Absolutely. Boss is our favorite thing. It blocks odors and stains. So, if you have a piece that smells or bleeds, does everybody know what bleed through means? Bleed through means that the original color or the original finish of your wood comes through your paint. We don't really mean that it actually bleeds blood. So, if you have a bleed through issue, Boss is your friend. Okay, so that being said, I've answered all the questions from yesterday. We are going to look at this piece. It is a French Provincial piece with raised panels, and I got to tell you, I love French Provincial to paint. It's fabulous. It has so many sweet accents that you can do, so that's what we're doing. Tonight, we are going to dry brush because I am going to distress this piece. I am also going to glaze this piece or possibly wax or maybe all of the above. Hey, Gail. But I like to do my dry brushing before and then I go forward. You're asking what color I put on this piece. I'm one of those that likes a lot of different things going on. So this piece is actually sandbar, but I also put some drop cloth with it because I like the tone-on-tone effect. So it's sandbar and drop cloth. And this door over here is kind of what we're going to do with it to an extent. Because tomorrow night is about wet distressing, dry distressing, and chemical distressing. Tonight, though, it's not about distressing. Tonight, we're talking about dry brushing. A lot of people don't know about dry brushing. If you did ceramics in the 1980s like I did, then you dry brushed a lot. So tonight, what we're going to do, we're pulling out our trusty chip brushes because they're fabulous for dry brushing. And yes, I know they're rusty and they look rough, but they work for what I want. I am frugal to a fault. Girl, once these things get bad, I'll cut them off and use them for waxing. No, I don't have an accent. Other people do. Yeah, Sandy, I don't know which end of the brush to use. You need to fly out here from Arizona and show me, girl. Okay, so we are going to, don't you love my fancy container? This is my driftwood because I don't want to contaminate my paint. So I pour a little bit in my container so I don't. Hey, Debbie, I wondered where you were. I haven't seen you lately. Okay, so when you're dry brushing, you get just a tiny bit of paint on your thing. And yes, I buy 4 Health dog food for my dogs. And I get most of it off of my brush, okay? Now I'm going to move you real close to what I'm doing because I want you to see the way it looks. Well, I'm going to drop you first. Hang on. We got leg problems here. All right. I'm going to move you way close so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. All right. Can you see that this is sandbar? And we are going to dry brush this on here. Can you see the difference? I don't know if you guys can see it because I'm under this dang fluorescent lighting. But I want you to see, we're going to dry brush a little bit of this on here. Let's see if I can move it around. Y'all yell if you can see that. So now what we're doing is we're just adding a little bit of this color to that. We got a tiny bit on our chip brush and we're wiping most of it off on this because we literally want the brush almost dry when we put it on here, okay? We just want this piece to look like it's been painted several times, and this is a very basic thing that you can do to add some personality. And like I said, this piece already has a couple of colors on it. It has drop cloth and sandbar. Okay, so now we've put a little bit of the driftwood on there. Now the next color that I'm using is not a Dixie Belle color as such. It is 2 Dixie Belle colors mixed together. I love vintage duck egg. It is fabulous. So we are going to use some vintage duck egg and Savannah mist mixed together, and watch how beautiful this blue is. You are going to die. Look at that blue. Can you see how beautiful that is? Vintage duck egg is a great color all in its own right. But a lot of times I like to mix my pieces up a little. So we're going to do this. And it looks kind of messy. What you guys need to know is when I'm doing a piece, it looks messy before it looks good. I mean, I got to be straight up honest with you. I like for my pieces to get kind of yucky, if that's a precise word for you. And I'm going to go back with wax and we're going to distress and everything. I told you, we're going to do this piece together. Okay, I don't have my glasses on. Hey, Billy. All right, see, some people like dry brushing. I got a couple of them on there. Make sure when you're dry brushing, you want to get on these little edges and stuff. You want it to look very organic. If you get too much on there, don't stress about it. We can get it off later. We can sand it away. We can dry brush another color over it. But you just want to get a good vary of color. Can you guys see how this is looking? All right, we're going to get a little bit of that. So now, so far, we have done our custom color of half vintage duck egg, half Savannah mist. We've also put our driftwood on there. All right. When you have pieces that have a raised panel like this, you definitely want to give special attention to those because let me tell you, we're going to go back in and doll these things up. Now, we've already got one over here that we had monkeyed with a little, but we're going to monkey with it some more because it doesn't have enough color, you know? I'm going to want a lot of color on my pieces. I need another display piece, so we're going to do this piece together. And if you guys come in the store, you'll get to see how great it looks when you come in the store, because this is going to be a display piece until I can sell it. Somebody may look at it and love it as much as I do, but now I'm going to tell you, I like me some distressing, okay? Some nasty, distressed piece of furniture. The older looking, the better. We may even put some rust on it if we have time this week. Have you guys ever rusted wood? Oh my gosh, it is fabulous. And this piece may call for a little bit of some rust, or we may do some copper patina or some bronze patina, or you know what? If we don't run out of time, we may do all of the above, because we are back to basics and we're going to go through the gauntlet. All right, so now we're still putting just a little bit. We're using our box and you're blotting, okay? Again, if you get too much color on there, don't worry about it, okay? Really, don't worry about getting too much color. You can always dull it down a little by dry brushing some of your base coat over the top of it. You can take your mister bottle and mist over it. I mean, there's a million ways you can kind of cover up what you've done. A lot of people worry about making mistakes. So I'm going to put you on me for just a minute. A lot of people worry about making mistakes with chalk painting, but it's not a precise science, okay? It's really not a precise science. It is about having a good experience to me. I'll be straight up honest with you. I'm going to put you up here so you can watch me do the drawer. It's about having a good experience. Somebody just sent me a private message. Of course, I can't read it right now because I don't have my glasses on. But yes, I do use the same brush when I'm dry brushing. I don't care. I use the same brush for my driftwood that I use for my custom mix. And I'll be honest with you, we may even put another color or two on here, because this piece is going to be just fabulous. All right, so now all we've done is we've cleaned our piece, and I did put 2 colors of paint on, and I put them on with my little angled brush. Typically, I use my Klingon, but like I told you guys, and I was wrong on the price of these. These are $7.99. So if you look on my site and you want an angled 2-inch plush, I think they're $7.99 if I looked at it right today. We put our paint on with this. We added drop cloth, which is an off-white color. We added sandbar, which is kind of a grayish color. It's not really gray and it's not really beige. I got your order last night, Laura. Thank you. It is definitely a good custom color. All right, so once we did that, now what we're doing is we're going to dry brush. And once we get all of this dry brushing on tonight, I'll answer questions. And tomorrow night, you know what we're going to do? We are going to be distressing all over the place. We're going to chemically distress it. We're going to wet distress it. We are going to use a sanding sponge and manually distress it. We're going to dry distress it. So we're going to do a lot of fun things. We may do a little bit of blending at the end of the week. That's a little out of the basic range, but I do want you guys to kind of have an idea of what we're talking about. Now keep in mind, when you're doing something that has these little lines in it like that, you don't have to worry about getting too much on there, because we're probably going to do a lot of distressing there. And we're going to go back in with our glazes and our waxes and kind of highlight those little details as well. So I wouldn't get too caught up in those. I would do more of the dry brushing on the open surfaces. On this raised panel, see how big a raised panel this has? That is where you want to spend some of your time with your dry brushing, because I don't distress most of my open panels. I don't distress my big places as much as I do the sharp edges. Those would get more wear. Your sharp edges and your drawers where your handles are and everything, they would get more wear than this panel would. And when you distress, to me, you want to distress where it would get wear. So we're going to go over all that tomorrow night. Right now, we're just worried about this. So now we have 4 colors on here. Is that enough? Yes? No? Maybe? Let's see what other color I have out here. Oh, maybe we want some farmhouse green. I have farmhouse green out here. That is totally not what I had in mind, but we are going to do it. Let's do farmhouse green too. I love the new farmhouse green. It's fabulous. All right, so we are going to get us some farmhouse green, and we're going to add farmhouse green. Remember our bright green that we've already used? We are going to use some farmhouse green because we don't want this whole thing to be grays and blues. We want it to have some bright to it. How about that? I love this new color. I got to tell you, told you guys, I would paint my kitchen cabinets if my husband wouldn't strangle me. He very seldom gives me limitations, so I have to abide by this one, I guess. But, all right, we are smearing us some farmhouse green. Can you guys see that beautiful green color? It is fabulous. I have to tell you, it's going to be so amazing when you guys see this thing put together. Totally not what I had in mind, but just because you don't have it in mind doesn't mean it won't work. We are going to do it. And that's what I wanted to remind you guys. Somebody asked me today about a sprayer. I do run paint through my air sprayer, my airless sprayer. It is self-propelled. I did post the link on Amazon last night in the comments if you guys are interested. I spray Dixie Belle every single day. I love to spray Dixie Belle paint. I mix 1 to 2 ounces of water with 8 ounces of paint. It really depends on the color, and I know that sounds crazy, but it really does depend on the color. Some of the colors just spray better than others. I don't know why that is, but it is. Okay, so we are dry brushing tonight. Does anybody have questions? All right, so we are going to call this one. We're going to dry brush a little bit more, but I did want to tell you guys, this is only paint. You are not married to this, okay? You're not making a lifelong commitment to this paint. I had a sweet lady message me today saying she had not put paint in her sprayer, that she's had it for 4 months. Well, guess what? I have a confession. I had my sprayer 6 months before I ever put any paint in it. 6 months. I only put water in it. And thankfully, my friend, my bestie, Cindy Manley, who does Art Shatter, she said, it's just paint. And you know, she's right. If you're thinking about painting a piece of furniture, paint it. It's just paint. If you don't like it, paint it with something else tomorrow. It's not a big deal. Paint it. Leah, I think Leah's on here. She was earlier. She painted her kitchen cabinets, and they're fabulous. If you haven't seen them, you really need to go to 44 Marketplace and look at the kitchen that I posted. Leah did a beautiful job. She used vintage duck egg and fluff, and they turned out amazing. I mean to tell you. And you know what? She had not painted before. So I tell you guys all the time how easy it is. That's why we're doing back to basics. All right. So this is my box that I blotted on. You can see that I used all of my little colors. I used the same chip brush. Do you see it all in there? And I have got paint all over the front of our piece. I'm not going to keep you on here all night and bore you, but now you can see. And you can see that this paint, because we dry brushed it, is pretty much dry as soon as you put it on there. You don't have to worry about it coming off or whatever. If you need to move it around a little, you can mist it with your mister. You know, we talked about this yesterday. We love our mister. You can mist it with your mister and use your Paint Pixie brush. Love these. You can blend it. If you don't want to dry brush, you can blend, or you can do all of the above. So, if you have questions, hopefully between now and tomorrow, I will get a little bit more of this done. But I did want you to see, this looks like a streaky mess right now. When you start a piece, especially if you're going from a dark color to a light color, it may look like a streaky mess after the first coat. Don't stress out. Don't freak out. Go to bed. Get up the next day, put another coat of paint on there, or dry brush something on there, or something, and you're going to love it. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow, 9 p.m. Be there, be square. See ya.